Akademiks. Can't ride no wave.
I am Jamaican, so it's hard to eat this clean. So you got to get your hands in there a little bit. Oxtails. Come on now. You got to do it. Anyway, let me hear my man Dame Dash. Or, not my man. Okay? Because one thing I also don't do, I don't align with niggas that don't like niggas that maybe I don't like. I don't have a problem with Jay, but not because other people are talking bad about him. It means I'm a blanketly cosign. Here we go. So I'm going to be the fax
Who
machine.
got a better catalog, Jay or Kanye?
Kanye. Kanye destroys Jay. Kanye destroys Jay.
This shit hurt all these little hip hop, it's not even just hip hop media. It's the 40 plus hip hop niggas, everybody over 40, 45. They're so hurt. They're trying to have Jay-Z be Michael Jordan so bad. And when somebody says, no, Jay-Z's not fucking Michael Jordan, nigga, what 6 rings are you talking about? Kanye is greater than him. Drake raps better than him. And you name a bunch of things and it just hits them. They just get delusional. So now, usually they're like, nah, you just wasn't there. You wasn't outside. That's why they try to make a big deal like, well, how come Act didn't know this one random fact? Cool. When Dame Dash, the nigga that was in tow with him, that was in the trenches with Jay, the guy who was there, the 1-2 combo, when he comes out, it's like when Scotty comes out and speaks against Michael Jordan. Niggas don't want to hear that, right? They want to hear from everybody like, yeah, oh, you were in the era you play versus Mike. Tell us how good he was. Tell us how good. When Scottie Pippen comes out and be like, yeah, Michael was good, but nah, this nigga LeBron, he different. Nah, Scotty hating. Shut him up. Shut up, Scotty. Shut up. They're trying to make Jay-Z Michael Jordan, but nobody that ain't getting a colonoscopy every 6 months is buying it. We're not buying it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we're not buying that Jay-Z is Michael Jordan of rap. He is maybe the Michael Jordan of the business of rap because I do think he's an amazing mogul. He knows how to finesse. But if you try to tell me, they're trying to like crystallize him as like the greatest hip hop artist. Fuck no. Anyway, Ye beats him on the catalog level. I agree.
It's not even the same class. You know what I mean? As far as artistry goes and being creative and all the verticals that are stimulated and the people, no one wants to dress like Jay can't do a clothing line. Kanye has a movement, he's unstoppable. Like Kanye don't need nobody to fill an arena. Homeboy needs friends. This thing just stands up there and he don't even have to rap. He just does listen.
All right, we're not liars. It's Fax Machine Act. We're here. We're just going to hit it with a straight shooting. Dame, you're hating now. Jay-Z is sold out. I don't know if he put friends on the flyer, but we expect just Jay-Z at these stadiums. Jay-Z does not need, he's still one of the guys. He doesn't need, it's not Meek Mill who can't, no disrespect to Meek Mill. I don't think Meek could sell out an arena without the friends aspect. Right? He could only do one arena. Maybe, definitely Philly, maybe New York City, but he's not going to fucking Houston and doing a sold out arena show. Right? You could say that about someone like that. You can't say it about Jay. Because of Jay's immortalized status, I think he could go on a small stadium tour. 5 dates, 10 dates. I think he could do 10 dates. So we're not going to say that Jay needs to be carried. He's still a huge figure in hip hop. It's just that there's a couple other figures that are just bigger. That's just what it is.
Sessions in a stadium. Kanye is different and he's bipolar. You know what I mean? He's paused. He's pure art. The world should be so grateful for Kanye's presence because he keeps things so interesting. The world would be so boring without Kanye.
Okay, it's facts.
It's like Van Gogh. Like any minute he could cut his ear off while he's painting, but it's always art. Kanye is an artist. Jay's not an artist. Jay's a well, I'm not gonna say that, allegedly. I would say Jay's just more of he's cunning. And he doesn't mind playing with the devil.
What you mean by cunning?
He's cunning,
Hater alert. Jay's an artist. There's levels to this artistry. I don't think anyone meets Ye in terms of artistry, and I'm even including my GOAT. I just think Ye is levels above anyone that comes from a rap background when it comes to artistry. I've said that from the get-go. I've always said that. And not because Jay would most likely be seen as a rapper and an MC means he's not an artist. He's just not a greater artist than Ye, in my opinion.
It's cunning to me. He knows how to smile when he's mad. He knows how to laugh when something's not funny. He plays his position very well, and they pay him well for it. He doesn't make them scared. I'd be curious if they say in front of him.
Yeah, I hate this for Dame Dash. Dame, I rock with you, bro, but yo, let me tell you this. Every time when I hear Dame talk like this, and he's describing Jay-Z's personality, I believe it all, by the way. I've always said Jay-Z's like my favorite snake. You know what I mean? You got the anaconda paws, you got the cobra, you got the rattletail snake, and then you have the hove snake. Like this, you know what I mean? That's my favorite species of snake, Jay-Z, right? The guy who will sell you poison in pill form. He'll tell you this is for you, but you take it, you feel a little woozy, you go to sleep, you're dead in the morning. Jay-Z's my favorite type of snake, 100%, okay? Puts this woman to run Roc Nation. She's a snitch for the cartel. Everybody, Mexico hates her and fucking Tijuana and all that bullshit. And she basically comes in trying to misappropriate funds to like bully like whoever her daughter's gonna marry. She's over here trying to harass artists who are in sign deals. Listen, it's a lot of snake shit. Roc Nation to me is synonymous with all of it. It starts from the, all pun intended, it begins at the head of the snake. And the head of the snake is Jay-Z. Okay? Smile, yo, Colin, I heard you. You know what I mean? Does all that bullshit. Colin Kaepernick, who basically probably can't say a word without reading off a paper. He said, all right, at least I get the rapper who's going to represent my points with talking and maybe rapping. Jay gets a meeting with Roger Goodell. He basically says, fuck that nigga Colin Kaepernick, man. We're past kneeling, man. Give me the contract. $25 million later, Colin Kaepernick's at home. He's throwing the football in his backyard talking about he want to make it back to the league. No, nigga, it's over. All right? So I do think Jay is cunning. But I'm going to be honest with you. Like, most great businessmen are cunning. The idea that there's no, like, nice guy that makes it to a billionaire status. They always say you got to fuck someone over. Not necessarily fuck someone over, but you got to not get taken advantage of. Right? You got to be able to stand on your 2 feet in all negotiations. And when things are offered or in places where you could go left or right, you always, or for the most part, you make the best choice. Jay-Z is for self. What I've always said is like the snake, like kind of interesting part, but it's still capitalism, is that Jay-Z, like put it like this. Jay-Z could buy a pack of condoms for $1 billion and convince black people to think, and he's buying the condoms to fuck his bitch. And he'll convince the world that buying the condoms was for the culture. You get what I'm saying? He could do something completely selfish. And the culture will think he's doing it for us. Nigga did the title play. Great play to level up, descend third. What did he turn that shit into? Oh, I was doing it for artists. No, he wasn't. He does the thing with the whole Ace of Spades thing, and, he has his whole deal with Bacardi, and he basically says, has this whole elaborate story. Yo, when I was doing, what was the liquor that basically, he had some liquor company that he was putting in his videos, and he said the company told him they didn't really want to fuck with him, and he's like, you know what? No, it's Douce. He got Douce. I think Ace of Spades was the brand. Like, some brand basically supposedly told him that they didn't give a fuck about rappers, so he went to make his own shit. Now he's, like, making liquor that, kind of seemingly is for black folks that loves black culture. And as soon as, he gets to the point, all right, sell us back to white people, I'm out of here. Peace. So he's always been that cultural peddler. Like, I'm not knocking it. It's kind of smart, right? But for the people who don't see that and they still buy into it, I'm just here to wake people up. But yeah, that's cunning. That's why he's worth, I think at this point, should be worth like $2 billion plus, right? And Yeah, so I don't see a problem necessarily with that once you see through it. You know what I mean? What do you want him to do? Not, like the guy's not no saint. He's not no fucking superhero. He's out here getting his bread. So Dame Dash is mentioning shit, though. And I always said, I feel like Dame Dash got an unfair shake. Dame Dash, Summer Jam. Even though I know people have actually described this moment and they said, nah, Jay was just in one of those moods where he wanted people to speak for him. Dame Dash, when he's speaking on these podcasts, he sounds like the hurt bitch. Like, I'm not calling him a bitch, but he sounds like a hurt woman that never knew her man had a wife on the side. You know what I mean? Like, had a whole family. Because this lack of awareness, or now he's like, nah, Jay's really slick. He know how to, like, hide shit. Yeah. For, like, the last 2 years before he broke up Roc-A-Fella, he probably hid his feelings about you, right? So you were like bragging and boasting, popping champagne, thinking everything is sweet. The whole time Jay's saying, yo, I can't wait to get away from these bitch ass niggas. And that's kind of what it was. Some people point to this video here. Look at this.
Crazy. This is live. We the champions. You heard Michael Jackson.
Jay-Z at this point was realizing that Memphis Bleek should be somewhere on a podcast or just doing something, some menial task, DoorDasher. You get what I'm saying? And at this point, he was realizing, I can't believe I'm splitting money with this bald-headed fuck who thinks he could compete with me for women and he can't rap a lick. At this moment, Jay-Z was planning to exit. When you ever seen like That's So Raven, when she looks over and she just goes into like this, this dream or this vision? That's what Jay-Z was doing. Let's get this nigga out the booth, put him in a podcast studio. That's Memphis Bleek, that I don't have to pay him out of my will. And then let's get this other guy to lose all of his teeth and be going on these podcasts where he's complaining about me for 20 years. Jay-Z's kind of cunning. What I'm saying is, I think Dame recognizes it now, but nigga, you should have recognized back then. Because if I was you and I started seeing the signs on the wall or the writing on the wall, I'd start moving a little bit different anyway.
I'd be curious if they say in front of him and how you would react. Just because of that interaction with Harvey Weinstein, I was like, I never let Harvey talk to me like that. That was always my little man. Like, it was like he was showing him around and shit. And like, Harvey's was my little man to me.
How was he talking to him?
I'm just saying the way I'm looking at the clipped up shit, it's just the dynamic, our dynamic was completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I looked at Harvey like my son. You know what I mean? Not like he's showing me around. Like, I didn't look up to him. I thought he was a clown. I teased Harvey. Like, the guys that people look up to, I was teasing, Like, he was like easy work for me. I was never impressed with him enough for him to act like that. Just different dynamic, that's all.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Dame is, like, Dame has, like, this boss complex. It's like, yeah, he was always a clown to me. He was always, like, a little guy to me. It's like, yo, Dame, you have zero musical talent. You couldn't even properly manage the musical staff that you had under your wing. You eventually pretty much lost it, or they all flipped on you. And yes, Harvey Weinstein is a fucking creep. All things considered, the dude was pretty much a big shot when it came to the film industry. This idea of wanting to be the biggest boss when you walk into every room is probably why you're sitting there. The only person you're going to be the boss of are your kids, maybe his cookie company. Like, at the end of the day, most billionaires didn't make their first billion with their first business, right? Go look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk, in one of his early ventures, he was from what's called the PayPal Mafia. The PayPal, just Google it, PayPal Mafia. It's the term that signifies so many early investors and founders that eventually went on to have great careers. So we're talking about Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, David O. Sachs. We have Max Levchin, all these other people. But the point is this. All of these people, they were kind of involved in PayPal early on, and then they all liquidated or they all got bought out, and they made a couple million, right? That was the beginning of their journey. The reason why the PayPal Mafia is like so iconic is that wasn't their last lick. Elon Musk went on to have several other licks. That's why he's great. The thing with the thing with like Dame, and I hate to like give this criticism, is like I've been secretly waiting for Dame to have another like really successful business that he could pop his shit. But these days, he's like Adrian Broner. Like, love him, right? Love him, but like, one of them ones. And that's the sad part. Now I'm pretty sure, I want to give him a fair shake. I'm pretty sure he would say, "Ak, what are you talking about?" He probably mentioned like some of the successes or what he would consider success in the film industry. He probably say son has some cookies, and after that he would probably go on to say what else? Rachel Roy, which is the brand that he helped like his ex-wife get. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like he's never been successful in music ever again, and that's one of the things that's really defining of how much did you matter to the thing. If an NBA player goes to the championship, wins the championship, then gets traded, and never ever sniffs the playoffs, at a certain point, we could probably have the conversation said this nigga was getting carried, right? Like you can't, so you can't be that great then. That's my thing with Dame. Dame has not had any more success in the music industry. You get what I'm saying? Never. Don't throw KD's name in there. Don't throw KD's name in there. Yeah, that's not KD. That's not KD. KD might have linked up to win the championship. He might have linked up to win the championship, but at least he's been on a few competitors afterwards. Yes, he didn't win another championship, but he's been on a few competitors. Dame Dash literally went from like one of the most iconic labels in the world, and we've never had another music discussion about him. This is why I feel it's sad, because when they interview him, he's still talking about that one moment, Jay-Z. Like, respectfully, Roc-A-Fella was like 30 years ago. We don't give a fuck about no damn Roc-A-Fella. Like, well, the old head dude, let me say that. I got to calm it down before they try to jump me again. The old head nigga is dumb. I don't give a fuck about no Roc-A-Fella. It's 30 years ago, nigga. Fuck, like, you know what I mean? So when I be watching Dame on here, I'm like, damn, my boy so told me 30 years ago, man. Like, 30 years ago, back in my day. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know who I want to start doing podcasts? Bring P from QC up here. These are like the legends. Like, you know what I mean? Even just also to put in perspective, all the dick suck with Roc-A-Fella and shit like that. Roc-A-Fella was not even as successful as it's not like one of the most successful labels. QC is more successful than Roc-A-Fella. Facts. Overall, cumulatively, way more successful. You get what I'm saying? People are just on Jay-Z's dick. You know what I mean? It's just like they just they kind of like make this era like the golden era. Like, bruv, half of the niggas on Roc-A-Fella is working DoorDash, and half of the chicks are probably like they're probably like in LA selling box. Like, we don't know where they at. It's not like, outside of like Kanye and a few of them, you know what I mean? Like, these niggas is not doing great, bro. Okay? So when people try to do that, and by the way, Roc-A-Fella is not even like, Roc-A-Fella ain't no damn Cash Money. It's Roc-A-Fella, man. I don't know why people are so like, they're just on Roc-A-Fella's dick. It's like, bruv, cool movement. But 30 years ago, let's move on. Let's move on, bruv. Let's move on. Anyway.
Like, I want you to do me right now, Google Dame Dash and Harvey Weinstein, and look at the shit that you hear. Like, I'd be like, that. And he'd be like, oh, Dame is just playing. Like, I'd be like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a clown.
And by the way, I'd probably argue that if you want, because I do separate them. Roc Nation, again, Roc-A-Fella, we get yay. But Roc Nation gave us, or Roc Nation, when they kind of like transitioned over, gave us J. Cole and fucking Rihanna. Okay, I'll do that. Like, those are good. Those are big successes. Even though I'm pretty sure, the Jay-Z loyalists will be like, nah, you got to combine both eras. Nah. We got to do from when they had PD Crack and all the way to when they have Rihanna. I don't look at it like that. Not me.
You're a clammy clown, and don't you be acting tough with weak people. He was a bully.
Okay.
He never put that money up for Socialista. That was like 60, 70 grand. Like, I'm mad at, I'm like, you never put the money up for the, like, that's my relationship. Like, where your 70,000 at, nigga? That's how I'm talking to Harvey. You feel me? Like, I just put up 70. Nigga. Where's your 70,000? You jerking off in the bathroom. That's a whole pause. It's different. He was like a little nigga to me. You feel me? That's why I be laughing at this shit. Like,
Yo, Dame got to do an interview in front of a mirror. Like, Dame be talking the boss talk with nothing to show for it, bro. That was a little nigga to me.
I'll be looking up to these dudes and they clowns. That's what I'm like, I wish y'all only knew. Just corny.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know. You taking Kanye catalog over Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, the Black Album?
Reasonable Doubt doesn't sell shit. Why you think I gave it away? Nobody made no money off that shit. Barely went gold.
Ye's catalog cannot be fucked with. Point blank, period. I said it before, I'll say it again. Ye's catalog cannot be fucked with. This is why nobody want to see him on that versus stage. This is why, like, he could basically go against the most, the craziest groups of people and still have a chance to come back. Not none of you niggas. Nobody catalog fucks with Jay. No, not Jay. I mean, Ye. And I think it's sacrilegious to even have a conversation otherwise. Like, Reasonable Doubt is a good rap album. It's a classic rap album. I'm not taking nothing away from it. But have you seen what Kanye did? Like, not only that album, but his entire career. He changed music.
Nobody gives a fuck about Reasonable Doubt other than people that were there. Nobody gives a fuck about Reasonable Doubt. Ask some kid about Reasonable Doubt. They'll be like, nobody cares about Jay-Z as a rapper. No kid gives a fuck about Jay-Z at all. They not jacking his hairstyle, his gear. No one's fucking with Jay-Z. No one's listening to them fucking raps. None of that shit. That's all. You know that. When's the last time this nigga made a record? Like, he's an old man. Why the fuck should he be making records? But ain't nobody jacking Jay-Z. He's not. No one. Since I'm gonna tell you what killed Jay-Z, them fucking dress shirts. That put him out of business. He wasn't fly after that. No one. He couldn't recover for them dress shirts. Show me a picture of me and a Yankee in a dress shirt with cufflinks, please. Let me know. Or some Van Dutch and all that. Like, show me any picture of me in any of that clown shit. I'm the coolest. I'll be like, yo, think about how I'm looking. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, my homeboys used to still got these fucking motorcycle boots on. My homeboys used to give me.
Yo, damn, I rock with you, man. But listen, I'm critical of Jay, but this is too much hate, bro. This is too much hate. Jay-Z 60. How are you talking about his fashion sense at 60? Like, we got to cut it out. Jay-Z 60. We don't expect him to be a fashion icon. I don't think culturally, and this is where I think Jay-Z supporters, they're trying to rewrite the narrative this year. I don't think culturally anyone below the age of 30 looks at Jay-Z remotely close to how people look at him over the age of like 40. They just look at him as he was a good rapper. That's it. This idea of him being a GOAT, I don't think younger folks look at him like that. I think it's kind of like the conversation, except I don't believe that Jay ever really got immortalized like how Michael Jordan got immortalized as number one, right? For example, there's still people that are going to be like, nah, I was there when Kobe did this. Kobe's the greatest, right? And then you have the Kobe versus Mike debate. Then some people are going to be like, nah, man, it was, they're going to throw the LeBron in there. I don't think anybody feels Jay-Z is the bar. Sorry, this is Diet Coke. I don't think nobody feels Jay-Z is the bar that you compare every other rapper to. That's the difference between him and people wanting to make him Michael Jordan of rap. He's not the bar. You get what I'm saying? It depends on what era you grew up in. Like, we've had this conversation about Wayne. My thing with Wayne is that after his era ended, seemingly, nobody goes back to compare the only comparison that ever happened where people compared to Wayne was like, is so-and-so having a run equivalent to what Wayne did in 2005 to 2009? And I think people said that Drake basically either met him there or eclipsed him. Or people would compare Wayne's run and be like, yo, who's ever had like, some of the best runs? Maybe they compare it to the 50 run. But generally speaking, that's where all the Jay-Z loyalists, they kind of lose footing. Because Jay-Z isn't the standard that we compare musicians to. There is no standard. There is no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of rap. There is no Michael Jordan of rap. Now, and I'm talking about rapper-esque, I believe who's more immortalized as an artist and embodying hip-hop, where people could say there's a standard, I think Pac, in an artist perspective, is that. Where people, is constantly, he's a barometer of a certain type of embodiment of hip-hop where people be like, yo, this nigga moving like he's Pac. I've never seen niggas say, you're moving like Jay-Z. What the fuck does that mean? Like, think about it. That's what it means. Yo, he's trying to be like Mike. That's the standard. The standard is Mike. Yo, be like Mike. It's actually a fucking movie. It's a fucking phrase, right? Is it a movie? I might be tripping on that. But like, that was a profound phrase. Be like Mike. Mike, the standard. Everybody should try to adopt to the standard, right? When it comes to hip hop, I've never heard be like Jay. Ever. Never in life. You get what I'm saying? And that's why these people trying to rewrite history to make this guy Michael Jordan of rap, it kind of rings hollow. Like, no. He had an era. He's a great businessman and mogul. But he's not synonymous with the standard of the greatest ever. No, he's just not. And I see some of these guys like, they're like fighting, they're like swimming upstream these days. They're like, nah, Jay would be like, in what world does Jay beat Kanye in a versus? In what fucking world? In what world does Jay-Z even beat Drake in a versus? Like, in what goddamn world? But they're trying to make Jay-Z somebody that, honestly, again, I don't think Jay-Z's legacy is disrespected. Wayne's legacy is way more disrespected. A kid right now who's 17 who's into hip-hop, you have to realize it's been over a decade since Wayne was really in his bag or whatever the case is. That kid was 7 then. Probably like around 5 or something like that. Like when they talk about how dope hip-hop is and whatever, they skip over Wayne. They didn't grow up on Wayne. And there's only a few artists that you didn't grow up on, but like you, like as a young kid, and if you're into hip hop, you kind of learn everything about him. Like Pac is one of those. It doesn't matter what age, a kid born right now, in 10 years, when he's getting into his music bag, he's going to go do his own research and get into Tupac. Facts. He's that big of a prolific figure of an artist. Wayne, I don't think they're going to go back to because, like, and Wayne fans keep, like, posting me, and I hope they know I'm not hating. Wayne's style of rap, which was, like, really definitive, those, like, punchline, like, clever bars or whatever, it's like Allen Iverson with the crossover. Like, when you first seen it, it's like, oh, man, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, you realize that shit didn't win not one championship. No matter how much you crossed the nigga up, you broke his ankles, like, it was like, the crowd loved it, but it lacked the appreciation when later on, many people start adopting certain styles of it, but they packaged it with other shit, right? Allen Iverson, the best of the crossover, right? But then when you see Kyrie, who is just as good as a ball handler, but he could shoot better and he could win a championship, you're like, I don't know. It it made it feel a little bit less important what AI did. I'm an AI fan. I could never hate on my boy. I'm telling you the truth. That's where Wayne's shit is lacking. Wayne was good at these little remixes. Wayne was like, he made some good records too, but never really put things together. If you're going to say his best album, I would hope you don't say Carter 3. Maybe Carter 2. Maybe that could be it. But I keep saying Wayne doesn't have them championships. Wayne was on a hell of a run. Most of the work that defined the run was on features. He stole every feature. These mixtape remixes and these other records that are just leaked. And I think also, I think people now when Wayne is like, yo, they don't invite me to this, they don't invite me to that, and people always post up a video, they're like, yo, check this out. They're like, yo, Wayne, this is why they don't want you to perform at the fucking Super Bowl. Nigga, you can't remember your lyrics. We don't give Wayne enough critique for not being overly dedicated. It's like LeBron is in this game for 25 years. You know where LeBron is always going to beat Mike and all these other guys at? LeBron spent every year working on his craft, working on his body to be able to last this long and be this great. Michael Jordan was fucking bitches and gambling all night and smoking cigars. He would show up to the game, bloodshot eyes red. He was talented, still got it done. But the reason why he didn't play into his 40s or, probably his body probably started giving some way is because he didn't put that time into it. Wayne always came across that he just had that gift. And yes, he rapped a lot. But Wayne never put together the other things outside of rapping that needed for him to set up to be consistently mentioned and to be heralded as, again, I keep telling y'all, for anybody who disagrees with me, why is Wayne complaining? I'm giving a solution. You tell me why. If my solution ain't it, well, you give me a solution. I give solutions. I don't talk about problems. I give solutions. My thing is that Wayne's legacy out of everybody, Jay-Z, the old fuck he is announcing 2 fucking stadium nights or 3 nights back to back to back. They're celebrating him like he's going out of style. They are throwing the biggest parade for this motherfucker the year after he comes off all type of allegations. You know why? Because his legacy has been set up to be appreciated. Wayne's legacy has not. That's the point I've been telling y'all. It's a reason why all these things are, who should be at the Super Bowl? Let's keep it a bean. Other than the Wayne guys, which I think I'm a Wayne guy, nobody with a brain said, let's bring Lil Wayne on here. Of course, we want to hear a Millie. 6 foot, 7 foot. We want to hear Fireman, of course. But in reality, after Wayne's run, it just hasn't looked the same. I'm sorry to tell you. But back to my original point. They're trying their best. And I'm here to tell y'all, and this is like, there's a Twitter crowd. Like, they're like 40 plus. Like, they love reminiscing. It's okay. I'm going to get there too. I hope I'm not the guy who's like still, when the new guy comes around, I'm still defending Drake, saying, nah, man, y'all had to be there. Maybe I will. But I'm just here to tell y'all that Jay-Z is not nowhere. Let me see. Who would I say Jay-Z is like in hip hop history? He's like Magic Johnson. That's it. It's Magic Johnson. Yeah, he's a GOAT. It's not the greatest nigga who ever played this shit. Come on now. It's not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, come on. He wasn't the most dominant like Shaquille O'Neal. Come on, bruv. He's not LeBron. So gifted like you're like, Jesus Christ, it's a once in a lifetime. Nah, not that. He's not Kobe. Model his game after another great and he's a great. Nah. He's like Magic Johnson. Nah, actually, he's like, you know what Jay-Z is? I got you one better. He's like John Stockton. There you go. He's one of the GOATs. No, actually, I take it back. This is the last one I'll say. Jay-Z He's none of those. And I apologize to Magic Johnson. Jay-Z is Jerry West. He's Jerry West. Ain't Jerry West the logo? Am I tripping? Yeah. Jerry West, he was a good player. He is one of the GOATs. But they basically just whitewashed the whole shit and made the nigga the logo. So now, business-wise, he has a over-inflated importance in the fucking league like he was the guy. But he's not Mike. He's not Mike. He's not Wilt. He's not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's not Akeem. He's none of that. That's what Jay-Z is. Jay-Z is not Mike. Jay-Z is Jerry West. Most of Jerry West, if you ask me, not most, but a lot of what he's known for is what he did after he left the court. Some of the ambassador moves. Him as a GM or whatever the hell he was doing in the front office. That's Jay. Jay's legacy is not only music. It's what he's done with Roc Nation, Rihanna, J. Cole, utilizing Roc Nation to take over the NFL. That's part of his legacy. Title. He's a businessman. Yes, he was a player. So you know who we got to say he is? He's Jerry West. It's cool. But he's not Michael Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan. We got to figure out who Michael Jordan is. And all these look, I hope all y'all channels that love clip shit, clip up this one. I want to see the conversation on X. Your boy Hove is nothing near Mike. He's Jerry West. If we're talking about the Mikes of the world, Jay-Z ain't even in that convo. His ass is Jerry West. Get him out of here. Who would be Jordan? I would say Drake is LeBron. I know they don't like each other right now. It's all good. But Drake is LeBron. Why don't I say Mike? Well, Mike is synonymous with being the standard. Mike is the standard. It's hard for me to put Drake as the standard while he's still on the field dropping 45 like LeBron. How much points LeBron dropped last night? Oh, man. LeBron is out there on the field at 43 throwing alley-oops to his pre-cum. Bronny, catch this nigga. Bang! Crazy. Shit's kind of disrespectful almost. LeBron is having his way. The funny thing is, even though we are actively trying to call or gauge his legacy, we got to admit that his legacy is still being written. So maybe at some point, LeBron becomes a standard, but right now the standard is still Mike. So I want to say Drake is Bron. Drake is Bron. You know, I'm going to say Wayne is Iverson. Wayne is Iverson. Now, we got to go Kobe. Who's Kobe and who's Mike? Who's Kobe? Who's Mike? And if I'm being honest with y'all, I don't know if hip-hop has that. There isn't that quintessential person that has dominated so well, had such a nice career on all fronts. Dominated all the competition. You know why Jay-Z could never be Michael Jordan? Because Jay-Z was always a number 2 nigga. Mike was never number 2. Mike was never number 2. Jay-Z was in the league for 15 years, and he was like LeBron at the beginning of his career. Remember when LeBron went to like 10 straight finals? But he ain't win the ring? It's all about the ring. You go back to 2000, Eminem was the man. Jay-Z's like number 3. DMX was the man. Jay-Z's like number 3 or number 4. So Jay never, the thing with Jay-Z fans, they want to rewrite history. The nigga never ran no year. Remember I told you Drake ran the last like 13 years and Kendrick might have took 2 years out of it. I've given Kendrick 2024 and I've given Kendrick 2024 and 2017. Since 2010, 16 years. Drake. 2 fucking years, he wasn't the guy. 2017, Kendrick drops Damn. 2024, Kendrick in the battle, Not Like Us. Every other year, he's 14-2. Jay-Z, he can't be Jordan because he's never had the year that he ran. Ever. He's had a 20-year career, he's 0-20. He's 0-20. Every fucking year. He's losing to somebody else. Every year. He's never been that dominant. You can't be Jordan. You've never dominated like that. Jordan dominated. No game 7s in a fucking final. That's how Jordan gave it up. This guy can't be Jordan. That's not Jordan-esque shit. He admitted out of his own mouth. Yo, I told everybody on the label, yo, the tidal wave coming through because G-Unit's coming, huh? Jordan, imagine Jordan in the locker room with Pippen and, you know what I mean, Rodman and, you know what I mean, all these guys. And he's like, yo, listen, we can't win no more championships, man. You know who's coming through? You know who's coming through? Isaiah Thomas. Fuck out of here. Nobody give a fuck. When Michael came through, everybody said, well, it's his time. That's Jordan. That's Jordan. That's Jordan. Jordan got niggas out the way. He didn't make way for niggas. Once I heard him say this, and Jay told his whole label, like, yeah, we gonna have to fall back because 52 popping. That's no Jordan shit. That's Jerry West. Think about it. I'm giving y'all realistic shit you could think about. Like, if I'm capping, it's like, nah, Ak, you don't got it right. The nigga never had a moment that he was number one. Go back to Reasonable Doubt. You know why people keep talking about, well, when it dropped this and third, it was appreciated mostly in post. Great album. Definitely classic. I love Reasonable Doubt. I'm not going to lie to you. But the reason why, when that shit dropped, niggas was talking about Pac and Big. Niggas was not talking about no fucking Jay-Z, my nigga. Straight up. You keep doing the math on everything, you get to realize, like, Jay was always the guy who was, you know, I'll give you an example. Jay-Z's like Austin Reeves. He'll put up 20, 25. It looks good. But then when you see Luka drop 37, you're like, okay, makes sense. He's a good number 2 guy. Let's keep it a B. It's a good number 2 guy. It's a good number 2 guy. That's it. That's it. But when I'm trying to think about who is the Michael Jordan of rap, again, we're not just talking about the ability to rap. We're talking about kind of having the whole package. I've told you Jay-Z is eliminated. He's Jerry West. I gave Drake LeBron. Allen Iverson is Wayne. But I'm trying to figure out who's Kobe and who's Mike. Who's Kobe? Who's Mike? I'm seeing people say, well, Kobe should be Kendrick. What do you think about that one? What I'm going to say to y'all is, so Mike, I'm going to give Kanye, maybe not Mike. Kanye to me is going to be, well, Kanye's either Mike, Kareem, or Wilt. Undoubtedly, Ye is the guy, but do we want to look at Ye's career? Because Mike is the standard. I keep telling y'all, for anybody who would ever say that fuck nigga Jay is Michael Jordan, remember, Mike is the standard. Jay-Z has never been the standard of shit. Never. Ever. You feel what I'm saying? Like, never. So whoever gets the Mike placement got to be the standard of rap. Damn, look how clean this nigga did it. Look how when he came through, niggas couldn't fuck with him. Look at how every time he was placed up against niggas, he basically ate their lunch. Pause. I don't know if we could do that. I'm trying to figure out the person. Somebody said Pac is Jordan. I kind of want to do, I kind of want to bring in a different sport to put Pac in there. I want to say Pac is Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was this football player who retired early, and obviously we know Pac passed away. But he retired early, but in the short time he was playing, he was like one of the fucking GOATs. You know what I mean? Like, he played 10 seasons. And he just fucking dominated. You know, like, he's just one of the best on how short he played. But then again, Michael, how long did Mike play for? Did Mike play in the late 80s? But Mike did retire. You know, he retired after the second run, right? Yeah, 10 years doesn't seem short. I felt like, I thought his career was like always seen as short. Wayne can't, no, Jordan can't be Wayne. I'm using the same crap. I'm not making up some shit for Jay-Z. I got to use it for everybody. Wayne is not the standard. They don't even want to call the nigga to go to, they don't even want to call the nigga to perform at the pre-BET Awards show. You know the ones they be having a little twist at? They don't even want Wayne to do that. Because I respectfully don't even want that. So it's like, he can't be the standard. He can't be the standard of a rap career of like really doing his thing. Like, nah. Like, yeah, he had a great run. But the nigga is basically saying that, yo, Coachella don't even want him. Coachella? What the fuck? Jay-Z is not MJ. MJ of what? Now, I'm not asking no chat GPT. We could think. Somebody said, who is this Steph Curry? Okay. Yeah. All right, now we're kind of getting into the weeds here now. There's a Tupac is Deion Sanders. Okay. Pac is Magic? Okay. Pac is Emmitt Smith. Okay. All right. This is a good conversation, though. You know, we're not here to, like, solve it all, but do y'all understand my premise, though, right? And it's not an anti-Jay-Z premise. It's just a fair premise. It's to say that, listen, you know, in having this hip-hop conversation, and I see they're running to give Jay-Z every award, right? Like, yo, these are the greatest, you know, rappers, and you're sort of looking at it like, yo, bro, just pat Jay-Z on the back if you want to, my nigga. Like, you don't have to try to, like, throw all this other extra stuff into it. But if we were going to compare it to sports, I just don't believe that Jay-Z would be seen as the Michael Jordan. And I'm really asking the question out loud. Who is the guy that has had the Michael Jordan run where people are like, yo, this is fucking amazing. This guy's been the best guy in the league, dominating, right? Not the second best guy, right? Remember, Marshall Mathers, like 2000, 2001. We had DMX from like 98 or whatever going into that. Right after that, we pretty much, some niggas would probably even say like maybe Ja Rule with 2002. Then we get to 50 Cent from 2003 to 2005. Then we get to 2006. Now we got Kanye in the building. Jay announcing a retirement already. Then we get Kanye, who's kind of running shit. Then Wayne jumps on, and Wayne is like, yo, he's popping his shit. And then Drake comes in at the beginning of 2010 or late 2000 and 2000s to 2008 to 2000 whatever. And then it's always been Drake. It's been Drake, and then Kendrick got 2 years. When the fuck was the Jay-Z era? Like, you can't be the number 2 guy your whole career and then everybody calls you the GOAT. Like, it's like, I love LeBron, but when niggas come with why LeBron's the GOAT? It's because he scored the most amount of points. Well, nigga, if you played the most seasons and you sit around and just fucking keep going and going and going and going and going and going, of course you're going to break every record. That doesn't mean you're the greatest. It means you have the most longevity. So I've always rejected that. Like, I don't give a fuck. LeBron could score 1 million points. Okay. You are, longevity-wise, you're good. But doesn't make you the best. Hey, if I'm hating, tell me the year. Tell me the year. In the 90s, they're not talking about Jay. It's a Biggie and Pac situation. Right? We have DMX, who basically drops like 3 albums like in a year around 99 to like around 2001. Then we also get Marshall Mathers, so it's the Eminem time period. Then we quickly jump onto the 50 Cent train. And once 50 starts, nothing ends. I just don't see it, but you guys can let me know. Anyway, all right, so Dame is kind of hating a little bit. Dame, you know, we're no Jay-Z defenders here, but I kind of feel bad that 30 years later you're sitting on like, you know, this interview and it comes across like it's not, I won't call it bitterness, but when you're like, man, Jay is cunning this and third, and I'm like, bro, if you only knew that when the nigga was plotting to take you out, right? Like Jay-Z was sitting there probably smiling in your face. You were popping mad bottles, fucking 20 bitches, and you didn't realize that the nigga was planning a version of this that didn't include you. So now when you're on podcasts like 30 years later saying, yo, this is what Jay did, I'm like, yeah, he definitely did do that, but rather than actually, we might have to give him credit and call you the dummy, because how the hell did you let this nigga run this play in front of your eyes? Like, you know, there's this one clip that, you know, Dame Dash goes off on Def Jam, right? And he's in there popping it, and supposedly come to find out, Jay-Z set up a meeting and didn't include him. That was right on the wall. Jay-Z was cutting you out to play. They allowed you to kick and scream, but Jay-Z was plotting for you to get out of there, and he didn't realize it. So we got to, like, Dame Dash got to start taking accountability. Jay wrote you out the script, and he did it in a clever way where you thought it was everybody else's fault but his. But at some point, Jay said, I don't want to be around this fuck nigga no more.
Why shit is fucked up? Because y'all stay trying to do that. Y'all should have called Damon Dash and said, and you want the whole fucking thing to hear it?
Whole time they're sitting here like, why would we call you when the real boss Jay-Z told us don't call you?
Keep the door open. I don't give a fuck. Y'all should have called Damon Dash, make sure I was privy to it, and make sure I was CC'd or whatever. You don't send an email randomly at 10:30 at night or whatever it is at night, the day we all had awake. That shit don't fly right. That shit is fucked up. And on another level, it's not for y'all to put. Y'all do not control any of my artists.
Interesting.
That's why I'm asking questions. Everybody looking dumb in the face. So what was we doing? What was we talking about in terms of Jay? Let me know.
You see, as smart as Dame puts himself to be, or, you know, everybody's a dweeb and he's cool, there was a board meeting happening. We're not board meeting, but like, you know, meeting about Jay-Z's projects. And everybody stayed there and let you have the ego moment because they all probably were locking eyes with each other to say, oh, he's not part of the other group chat. The one where Jay says, don't invite him, have this meeting without him. I'm going to co-sign whatever y'all say in the meeting. And that's when they're realizing, oh, Dame not in the loop no more. Subsequently, he got out of there. So I think, you know, in these interviews that Dame Dash is doing, I don't know why he doesn't take that accountability. Yes, Jay-Z's a known snake. I keep telling you, they got rattlesnakes, they got anacondas, they got the cobra, and then you got the motherfucking Hove snake. That's it. It's a fact. You know, so yeah, you know, but once you know a snake's a snake, it's like, what are you going to do? But you can't blame that if you thought you were that much of a big boss. Like, you should have seen this coming from a mile away. You're a pooch, he said. He's like, yo, you can't outsnake a snake. He said he's seen that coming from a mile away, right? Anyway, if there's no other clip that's engaging, okay. It says DMX didn't respect. Let me hear this.
I was already checked out by then. You know, I don't think DMX ever respected Jay. They used to battle. You gotta remember, man, we was battling before we made money. So we was battling in the pool hall. We was battling, you know, show for show on you know, the Hard Knock Life. You know, it's always a good competitive thing. It's respectful. But I never, like, I've had a long conversation with DMX only because it would be like, pause. He had these, like, he just had these moments in the dressing room, or when he was shooting, while I was shooting Paid in Full, he was shooting a movie in Canada. And I remember, you know, we hung out and talked. for a long time, very deep. But I don't think he respected Jay.
Really?
That's what I don't think. Like the Rough Riders and us, we had a lot of respect for each other. We have a lot of respect. I consider DNY like almost like blood brothers at this point. Even though, again, I ain't got to never see him or whatever. But it was like, yo, they understand that mentality of like, thorough niggas don't fight thorough niggas. Thorough niggas stick together. We don't, you know? So like, if Jay's or Beanie's beefing with Jada Kiss, we would go be like, that's dead, all that. We don't do war amongst friends. So I really look at them as brothers. You know what I mean? So they respect Jay. But I don't think the people that were on that label, I don't think none of them respect Jay. I don't think none of them. It was two kind of hustlers. They were different. Hey, Nick, you telling to give me another drink? Another beer?
Okay.
I don't think they respect. I mean, you could ask them. Look at the interviews.
All right. Anyway,
You know?
I think we'll move on from here. Anyway, top of the morning. It's a nice Saturday today. It's 11 a.m. I do know y'all like these early morning streams, so welcome. And if you I applaud people who could get up before noon on Saturday. I know a lot of you guys work 9 to 5s during the week, and at times when you could, still have fun on Friday night and still be able to get up and function like a normal human, I really respect it. So thank you guys for being here. Okay, let's see what else is